If you struggle with shyness or social anxiety, check out our free No BS training course with actual useful advice you can do from home. None of that just get out there nonsense. The link is in the description below. For now, let's get to today's question.
The question, how do I beat my social anxiety depression? Answer by Arpita Bhagat. Social anxiety is a consequence of a psychological phenomenon called spotlight effect, in which an individual believes everyone's attention is centered on them. A concept in social psychology, the individual they are being noticed more than they actually are. Now, some people actually live in their own universes and therefore relish the spotlight, while for others, this experience is their worst nightmare come alive. The former bunch are those with an exaggerated sense of self, and the latter with deflated self-esteem. In effect, some thrive on attention while others are absolutely terrified of it. None of these categories are healthy. But since the terrified bunch end up foregoing their social responsibilities in order to avoid attention, social anxiety then turns into an illness. So how should one overcome this nightmare? As someone with social anxiety, I have found few tricks to work brilliantly with me. One to be especially, perhaps uniquely, useful for me. All the best. You and I, we can kick ass. A2A. Answer by Dennis Agia. Okay, I'm very sorry because I won't answer your question at all, but I will tell you what, at least according to me, you shouldn't do. If, and only if, your only problem is social anxiety, i.e., you're not depressed, etc., don't go to a psychiatrist. Seriously, I, myself, been struggling with depression and GAD, general anxiety disorder, which includes social anxiety. While mine might be lighter or worse than yours, I don't know. Anyway, when I first passed out due to anxiety, I was 26 years old already. My mother advised me to see a psychiatrist she knew. I saw him, he gave me some drugs, and frankly, the 2 first months were wonderful. I felt really confident, I talked a lot more than usual, so I could have a conversation with someone. Don't laugh, but before that, it was impossible to have a conversation with someone I didn't know, and even sometimes, with people I knew well. I thought, okay, everything is fine. I'm fixed, I will finally lead a good and pleasant life. Long story short, apparently, your brain adapts itself to any drug, legal or illegal. In the end, the drug has no effect, except preventing the craving. Yes, it happens with antidepressants. Try Effexor and tell me what happens if you skip 1 or 2 days. You'll live like in hell. Anyway, my suggestion, based on my own experience, so it could be different for you, your choice is not to take antidepressants, because they don't fix you, they just make you feel better for 34 weeks, then turn you into an addict, and don't work anymore. Also, try not to take benzodiazepines, or if you do, it must be for a really short period. No more than 6 weeks. Never. I've been addicted to those pills because I have extreme anxiety in general, and it's like drugs, legal or illegal. At the beginning, it's like heaven. Then it does nothing except prevent the craving. Do you want an example? Eva got a friend who was anxious like me. Strangely, that made us bond, but that's another story. But unlike me, he was okay to take drugs, so he went to a psychiatrist and was prescribed 1 Seraplex a day and 2 Xanax. That was like 8 years ago. Now he takes 5 Valium plus 2 Seresta 50 every day and some AD I don't know the name. And you know what? He is still anxious. Very much. Well, that's what it tells me, but I believe him, because his behavior and the things he says are really, well, they seem to come from someone very paranoid actually. It scares me sometimes. Shit, I wanted to post a short thing. Anyway, let's get to the point. No drug, legal or illegal, will make you feel better than for a couple of hours. You need to find other solutions. Fortunately for you, a lot of people have been down that road, and the general consensus about what helps is, by the way, at the beginning, you won't feel the benefits of meditation, simply because your meditation time will be too short. You will feel it after a few weeks, if you do it daily. But trust me, and the million of persons who did it, that's the best solution. It will really improve your life, and that's the best way to fix your social anxiety problem. All that I said is based on personal experience. Everything is just a suggestion. I'm not a doctor or a monk, so I'm not qualified to give you 100% working advice, but can doctors and monks? It worked on me, and some people I know, so it's very probable that it will work on you. The most important thing is to stay consistent, not to give up, and increase slightly over time. By the way, All the best. Answer by Dan Stelter. Eva had social anxiety disorder my whole life, now 34, and now live with confidence most of the time. It's not easy. First, you're not alone. Lady Gaga was painfully shy, and still is to some degree. Other famous people like Barbra Streisand, Donny Osmond, Jennifer Lawrence, and Mel Gibson have been shy during their careers too. To get better, you only need willingness to take action and get out of your comfort zone. One of the biggest barriers to progress is people too afraid to act. You don't have to be perfectly willing. Just a sliver of willingness will do. Some people want something to fix or cure their social anxiety. But nothing does that. Medication reduces symptoms, but it doesn't eliminate your core issue of low self-esteem and fear. You won't become a different person overnight. However, it makes the process of getting out of your comfort zone easier. And if you're in an emergency situation where you need to get better fast, to keep your job or not fail out of school, for example, medication makes good sense. If you don't like the idea of medication, you may try a natural supplement. Ashwagandha is safe in the short term, although its long-term safety isn't known. L-theanine and Korean red ginseng/Panax ginseng may work too. Everyone's different, so you have to try different stuff. See what works for you. I take 20 milligrams of Lexapro, the highest dose. It seems to help, but it's not life-changing. You don't have to take anything if you don't want. But most people are curious, so that's what I can share about medication/supplements. After you've made that decision, CBT is the most common treatment approach. Stanford research proves it's effective at reducing social anxiety. Many kinds of professionals offer it. That includes, with CBT, your therapist works on understanding your negative thinking and behavior in certain situations. You then get assigned homework, where you have to confront these situations. Over time, you gain the skills necessary to function in social situations without anxiety. The other approach with documented proof of effectiveness is mindfulness. By the way, this isn't an either/or. You can use CBT and mindfulness together. Stanford research again found mindfulness works to reduce social anxiety, and basically any other mental illness. With mindfulness, you simply focus your mind on something around you so you stay in the present moment. You live one moment at a time. Right now, it works, because if you think about it, social anxiety wants you to live way in the future or past. Basically, anywhere but now. In my own life, Eva found serving others works amazingly well to dispel social anxiety. Why? It gets you out of yourself. I realized social anxiety focuses all on me. What others think of me. What I think others think of me. What I might do wrong. And so on. When I come to a situation ready to serve, I get my mind off me. And it focuses on someone else. This works both in the moment and over the long term. In addition, having a supportive network helps a ton too. I have 1,015 people I can talk to about various anxiety-provoking situations, what I'm feeling about them, and how to deal with them. I can share my innermost thoughts and feelings, without fear of judgment. And that dispels the power of social anxiety, which wants me to keep everything to myself. Highly recommended. Last, I avoid caffeine and alcohol and focus on eating proteins, fruits, and vegetables. I also exercise vigorously 23 times per week to keep the anxiety away. Social anxiety can come back. It happens because people slowly stop working on it and drift back to their old ways over time. CBT is generally a short-term treatment, 24 months or so. Having a support system in place afterwards helps you to maintain your progress and keep growing. Dan Stelter helps social anxiety disorder sufferers find freedom from social anxiety and live with happiness, serenity, and confidence. Find out how at http://www.anxietysupportnetwork.com/x